If one night could change history, would you watch it unfold hour by hour? Season 6 of The Chosen is built around that single, breath-holding night, the final day before the crucifixion, and everything about it feels different. This season doesn't wander, it locks in. It stays in the darkness the Gospels describe, and that choice gives the whole story a haunting energy. The team says it's their most emotionally and spiritually demanding work yet, and you can feel why. We're stepping into the hours that shook the world. Here's what you need to know before episode 1 lands. Almost the entire season plays out at night. That's not just a style choice. It mirrors the spiritual weight of these events. The premiere, based on what's being discussed behind the scenes, drops us straight into the trial of Jesus. No slow build, no warm-up, straight to the heart of the conflict. Picture this. After the arrest in Gethsemane, where he prays, "Not my will, but yours be done," Jesus is taken first to Annas. He's not the high priest anymore, but he still pulls strings. He questions Jesus about his disciples and his teaching. Jesus answers with calm certainty. He's spoken openly. Nothing has been hidden. Then a guard strikes him. It's a brief moment, but it lands like a punch to the viewer too. Why is truth met with violence? Why does boldness provoke fear? Those questions will hang in the air as the night rolls on. From there, Jesus is sent to Caiaphas, and the Sanhedrin tries to stitch together a case. Witnesses disagree. Their words clash. The room feels chaotic and desperate. Finally, Caiaphas asks the question that can't be dodged. "Are you the Messiah?" Jesus replies with words that echo through time. "You have said so. From now on, you will see the Son of Man sitting at the right hand of the Mighty One and coming on the clouds of heaven." That answer seals his fate. The council cries blasphemy, and the night grows darker still. Will episode 1 cover the Roman trial? Maybe not fully, but to understand the pressure rising in this story, you have to see where it's headed. The leaders can't carry out an execution on their own, so they bring Jesus to Pontius Pilate. Pilate finds no fault, but politics is a storm he can't control. He sends Jesus to Herod Antipas, who wants a miracle and gets silence instead. Mockery follows. Then Jesus is sent back to Pilate. A Passover custom offers a choice. One prisoner released. The crowd calls for Barabbas. How does a crowd choose violence over innocence? How does power wash its hands and pretend to be clean? Pilate orders the flogging, the mock robe, the crown of thorns. He says he's innocent of this blood, and yet the order goes through. The cross waits. Even summarizing it tightens the chest. It's heavy. It should be. What makes this season different isn't only the plot we already know, it's how closely the show seems ready to lean into scripture while letting us sit with the human cost. Silence against accusation, courage against fear, love against mockery. If episode 1 truly starts in the courtroom and refuses to blink, expect the tension to feel almost physical. Expect to ask yourself what you would have done in that courtyard, at that fire, under those torches, when the questions came fast and the night felt endless. Now, step outside the story for a second and look at the scale. Filming for season 6 took 86 days, longer than any season before, across North Texas, Utah, and Matera, Italy, the same historic city used for the Passion of the Christ. That's not a flex for the sake of it. It matters because the locations carry the weight of stone, shadow, and narrow streets that make this night feel real. The creator has even called season 6 a full-scale event, not just another chapter. There's word of a theatrical release backed by a sizable budget, with millions already crowdfunded. One major milestone is already circled. The Crucifixion episode is planned to arrive in theaters on May 12, 2027. That's far off, and waiting will test patience, but it also signals the ambition. This isn't a small finish. This is a culmination. Listen to the cast, and the picture sharpens further. Jonathan Rumi, who plays Jesus, has described this as the most challenging work of his career, physically, emotionally, spiritually. That's not a marketing line. It sounds like the cost of carrying these scenes day after day. Elizabeth Tabish, who plays Mary Magdalene, has spoken about the devastation of witnessing the suffering up close, even as an actor. And the actor who plays Big James has talked about moments on set that gave him chills because of the focus and silence between takes. Even rough, unedited behind-the-scenes clips have been enough to move viewers to tears. If the rehearsal room can do that, What happens when everything is cut together and the music hits? What happens when the night finally breaks into morning? All signs point to a season that pushes further than before, darker, more intense, and deeply faithful to Scripture. From the garden to the courts, from Peter's denial to the jeers of the crowd, the story invites us to walk those final hours without rushing past pain to reach resolution. It sits with the questions: why didn't he defend himself? Why didn't power recognize innocence? Why does love accept a path it could refuse? If you're drawn to the emotional depth of Season 5, this next chapter looks set to go even deeper. So what should you watch for in Episode 1? Expect a swift drop into the trial. Expect the quiet strength of Jesus to clash with the loud urgency of leaders chasing a verdict. Expect friends trying to defend him and discovering the limits of words. Expect the room to feel crowded even when it's still, and expect the night to feel alive. Torches, footsteps, quick glances, the long pauses before answers that cannot be taken back. And expect more than anything a question that won't leave you alone. When truth stands silent, what does faith do? This season isn't asking for casual attention. It asks for presence. It asks you to step into a night where every choice echoes. It asks you to feel the weight of history without numbing yourself to it. Watch how the story holds two things at once: the frailty of people and the firmness of purpose. Watch how the Gospel's details, names, titles, customs, aren't dusty footnotes but living pressures that push the plot forward. Watch how, in all the noise, the calmest voice in the room never wavers. One night, one long, unbroken stretch of choices and consequences. If you're ready to see how far love will go, Episode 1 is where the road narrows and the steps grow loud. Stay with it. Let the questions work on you. And when the sun finally rises on the other side of this season, you may find you're not just watching a story, you're walking through it.